once again, just gonna jump right on into this. This is for, you said your user was glorified in here. So let's go to player view. Oh, perfect, right on you. All right. I think Tether's just champ 1, champ Dennis is champ 2. Okay. Alright, so I want to say I do like this first. You realize that diving on this ball is a risk. Make it seem like you're going to go, you turn around. He throws this ball away. Now, turning into Officer Daisy here might be a bit of a problem. So it's not... Now with that said, so it's a good fake challenge in that he gives it away here. But at this point, when you turn on it, you're still beat. I don't love this challenge because your teammate is kind of struggling to get back here. He's kind of rushing toward net. Turning into this ball is a commitment. You're not technically last man, but if your teammate is not able to get back to a defensive position in an effective time, then you're still kind of putting him at a bit of a risk. I would try to slow this play down before I challenge. Don't jump for that. Looks like you're able to get back for it. So the reason I say don't jump for that, you're already at a disadvantageous position. You're having to make up a lot of ground to get to this ball. 1, 2, your teammate's in a pretty bad position because he's basically inside this net and his recovery back to net is going to be bad. And you have 2 defenders in the net waiting to get the rebound. This is not a scoreable ball for you. So stay near the play, watch what the opponents do instead. Diving in on this is a big risk because if it doesn't go in the net, your opponents get a counterattack immediately and there's nobody back. Which is what happens. You end up getting a bump on him, so this play is saved, but if he flipped into this ball or had any kind of reaction or, I guess, counterplay to your attempt at bumping him, then this was a goal. Okay. I like the patience there and waiting on him before you just threw the ball away. Yeah. Good reaction. You realize it's not a threat. I would have gone just a tad sooner, though, because he does make it a threat at some point. Alright, the only thing I do want to comment on here is you're not always... Even if you have space sometimes, I think it's risky to go for a dribble when you are the only defender in your end of the field. I don't know what your teammate's doing right now. He's way up there. I don't know how he got into their end of the field, but he's not going to be able to bail you out. You have 2 guys trying to get this ball away from you. If you have the opportunity to do so, bang this upfield just to buy time. That's the only time I'm going to say bang the ball upfield is when you want to buy time. You have a lot of boost. But when you go for a dribble and you don't have anybody back, they're going to be trying to go for a 50 here to get this around you. Sometimes you can get that unfortunate 50 on top of your car that just goes straight in the net. I say you get rid of this ball because there's nobody behind you. If there's somebody behind you and you can set up a dribble and actually be careful with your possession and try to set up, I don't know, small chips around the offense, then yeah. But in this case, I don't love it. So here, let's go back just a little bit more. This is a risky ball to dive on again because Daisy is in the net recovering poorly and you have 2 defenders in front of it. Now, what's this guy's name? Ish? I'm not going to like saying that. Ish. That doesn't roll off the tongue at all. He's not in a great position. That net is wide open. Oh, well, this guy ended up having a bad recovery. I guess if you could have shot this far post, it's fine. But from this position right here, it looks like Sky here is going to be able to follow it up. He doesn't. But had he, and you dove as last man, that's unfortunate. And further right here, I mean, you could get this touch, but you can tell Daisy doesn't have great recovery here. I would just get out of this. Because if Daisy dives in after you get this touch, then both of you are in a very precarious position and not able to rush back to net if something goes on. I think this is a situation where you just get out. That touch doesn't really do anything for you because you're not facing toward the play. But let me keep on. Okay. Alright. That's a tough one. Okay, we're going to go back a little bit more than I should have here. Starting from this. This is a good pass if you're more ready for it. This is one you need to get height on. You need to put this strong on net, or I would not have gone for it again. With you hitting it more on your wheel instead of that corner, I mean, it's just a hair the wrong direction. This is a transfer of possession. So that's where the first thing went wrong. That's how they were able to get that clear, because you dove as last man. It's just a misread. Alright, so this is a situation, watch the opponents here. You're pushing up from the right side of the field when you know Daisy is staying on this as well. As soon as he flips, he is committed for this. He's going to be stuck in that flip for a good while. Sky has you beat. If you would have watched Sky this whole time, I mean, this is kind of a rough beginning. Sky has both you beat right here. If Daisy is going to commit for this mid boost, your job is to get back. You're not always going to have a teammate that's going to make the perfect decisions. With that said, everybody has the same teammates. This other guy, Sky here, he has a teammate that's making these same mistakes, and Daisy got here legitimately because this is solo queue. Looks like he's actually having a solid game. So, though technically you're in front of him, he had the momentum going that way. He's staying in this play. Adapt around your teammate, turn around here. If you watch the opponents, you'd know that they have you beat. There's really no benefit to committing for this because it's effectively a double commit. And it's a double commit where both of you are beat to the ball as well. So he's able to hit that around both of you free. Daisy scrambles to get back, and then he puts it far post. The only reason that worked is because both of you were committed at the same time. Alright, so here, instead of trying to take this shot, you have 0 boost here. If you had any amount of boost, then this might be manageable, but emphasis on might. If you go for this corner boost, whoever hits this ball next is a lot less likely to get the follow-up play. They're scrambling to get back to the net here. I think we could have seen them cheat up. Or yeah, you can see he cheated up. You know they're behind you, and this guy probably doesn't have a lot of boost. He's scrambling to get back to this net. Take that corner boost right there. It's just sitting there. And if you take that, then they cannot get good offense going the other direction because they don't have the boost to work with. This is not a shot that you're really realistically going to be able to take because the guy beats you back to that net pretty comfortably. He at least had enough boost left over from the kickoff where he cheated to beat you to this ball on defense. He doesn't even go for that corner boost. Okay, but his teammate probably will. I don't know. That's interesting, but never mind. And that boost is still sitting. Now he gets it. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to point out one thing as well. The only reason that this challenge is okay is because the ball is on the ground. If you were taking this challenge and you had a dribble, bad idea. It looks like he was working toward it, But yeah, it's okay to do that so long as that ball is on the ground. As soon as it's above him, fake challenge it. Try to get him to throw it away instead. I would still say that it's probably a safer choice here than going for a 50-50 because now Ish can follow this up. But okay, you can shoot this one. I like the idea of taking your time there. I think that was one of those situations where they might have been scrambling a little bit and a good power shot on the net might have done you pretty well. But that's okay. It's kind of hard to assess in the middle of a game sometimes, and it was still a good idea. Okay, so you should be more in this play now. Yeah, and there's an opportunity you can't dive on. He's near the ball. He's gotten it past 1 already. You're way too far back to be relevant in the play now. You have 67 boost. There's no reason that you shouldn't be closer. This was absolutely a goal that you could have taken. You'd want to be maybe, let's go back a bit. When you see that high pop, that's going around Ish. You can start pushing in right now. Yeah, so, I mean, you want to be close enough to your teammate to be able to take offense when it's presented, but not so close that if they get counterattack going, you're completely irrelevant. Pretty good shot there. I don't hate the opportunity because even though you were last man, it was a safe shot because there was nobody challenging you. Let's see. Alright, yeah, get back now. Is that another one? Alright, so how could we have corrected this? Okay, so at this place, rather than get the boost and turn back into the play, get the boost and turn right. The reason is, right here, when you go for this challenge, that ball gets hit around, you get bumped. You know both opponents are there. You can see the entire field ahead of you. It's now your teammate's time to go, and he's going to commit for this. Or at least start pressuring this ball. Take this mid boost, turn right. When you turn left, you're turning into the play, and you're already on the same horizontal plane as him, so this is kind of hard to visualize, but you can even see on the grass here, you're basically in the same block on the grass, and that's just, you want to be further back in kind of a different quadrant, if that makes sense, of the field. Because right now, you can only save something that's coming to a small percentage of, like, this ball's not coming to you at this point. The only thing you can do from this position is if somehow this ball pinches completely towards you and you get a free shot, and that's not going to happen. The most likely thing that's going to happen is the opponents are trying to get around you toward your net, turn back to your net instead of into the play, because there's really nothing Daisy can do for you to get you this ball, and that's not what he's thinking about either. So again, you're not last man here. Your job is to get back toward the net and try to prevent something like this. You were pretty close to it. Very close to it, actually. But just kind of realize when your turn to rotate to the net is. And that might be Prentice. So I'm guessing, I'm hoping he called that. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I like this as well. Right here. You don't double commit. You trust him until you realize that it's not going to work out, and then you're like, okay. This is something that a lot of people can't do. It's this idea that you trust your teammate, but you mentally prepare for what's going to happen if they mess up. And that's exactly what you do. You see, okay, he's not going to hit it. I go. I like that. That's a tough read sometimes. Double committing is a big mistake, but your teammates make plenty of mistakes too. And if you can prepare for them, good patience on that as well. You didn't dive. I like that you trust him. That's something that a lot of people don't do. Hey, they were alright. A banger, eh? I don't know what he thought was gonna happen with this, but hey, he's going straight in the montage. Alright. I don't know how you did this. I want to see this again. I have never. What? What is that bump? I've never seen that before. That's hilarious. Good patience. And there, you observed a good opportunity. Yeah, like right here. You see your beat. You don't dive in on this. You see Daisy is still in this play. You have no reason to go. You turn around. That's good. When it comes to the very obvious ways of being last man, I don't think you're diving in that much. So you're not taking a lot of shots that people think they're passing out mid. And that's good because a lot of people, that seems to be one of the more common mistakes I see. It seems if anything, you're diving at the ones where it's not obvious that you're last man. And this is a good call. So yeah, you have 10 seconds on the clock. You got to start getting things going. Ish is in a bad spot. Yeah, I like this shot. Obviously, there's really, at some point, you got to dive in on one of these. And even this wasn't a bad one. When you see that Sky isn't jumping and Ish is in a bad position, this is a good shot to take. And you put good power on it, so that's even better. A lot of people don't practice that. Yeah. Solid bump. Ah, that's unfortunate. If only he was there. So I do want to say one thing here. It's a good habit to have ball cam on a little more when going for this boost. There's really nobody in the way. And if you can path this without having to turn off your ball cam, you can continuously watch what's going on in the play. That corner boost is always in the same spot, and on kickoff, there's nobody that's going to be in the way of it. So it's a pretty safe thing to do. You just got to figure out how to do it, but that'll keep you visually relevant so you can mentally prepare for what might come next. Not a big deal. You turn it on fast enough that it wasn't a problem, but I've seen people make that mistake as well. Alright, so I don't know why we put on the brakes there. I don't know if it may be disruptive. Alright, so right here. When you have zero boost, either hit this ball someplace that is easier for your teammate to follow up or calm it in some way. If you stay in this play with zero boost, then your teammate has expectations. I would say you get out. I don't think there's any point to staying in this play with zero boost because your recovery is only going to be worse the more you creep into their field. You gotta assume Sky has boost. He's using it right now. That's not really a safe opportunity for you. You're much less likely to win the 50. There's a lot more that can go wrong when staying in the play with not having boost. And I know it's tough because you did get this ball in there into the field. It makes sense to want to follow it up. But again, this guy is waiting on your challenge. There's nothing he can do while you are on this ball. So whatever happens with the next challenge, he will be dealing with whatever the outcome of that is. So if you're inherently going to have a bad challenge because you're going in with zero boost and Sky here has a full tank, it's just going to be really tough for him to follow up. Does he get it? No, that's how it ends. Yeah, so what is this camera? What is going on? Okay. Anyway, This is all over the place. Let me pull this thing back up. I don't want AutoCam. I want player view. Goodness. Yeah, and look, I think this is one of the big major mistakes that people make as well. At this point, it looks like a perfect opportunity, right? There's one defender, you have possession of the ball, it's a high pop, but you're missing the most crucial element, and that is boost. It's just not right, unfortunately. If you can't make contact with this ball by not having boost, again, just go ahead and turn it around. Right there. Right there when you have 6 and this mid boost is not there, that's your time to turn around. So yeah, and look, for what it's worth, because I don't want to make this seem like it's entirely your fault. It's obviously a shared thing all the time. Daisy is too far up here. He should not be this close to you. Again, this is one of those situations where if they get the long clear, he's not really going to be able to save it. And for what it's worth, he misreads this pretty bad too. So he gets scored on. But it's still a situation that was created because you committed for the challenge without really having the ability to commit. Anyway, I say this a lot, but no, I think that it looks pretty good. The only thing you're maybe putting your teammate in a bit of a precarious situation without realizing it, because there are times where being last man does not literally translate to being behind your teammate in the net. So try to always stay in a comfortably defensive position when your teammate is taking an offensive position. Being, parallel to them in the field, side by side, kind of hoping to get a pass, does not happen. And it certainly, if it happens at all, it's not in, anything below like SSL. Even I mean, as you know, I'm sure, if you're driving forward, hitting the ball to your right at a complete 90 degree is impossible with any kind of speed to make it worthwhile. So stay behind him. Stay behind him and wait for what happens next. And if you don't think you're going to be able to get quality offense going, then just don't bother. And I know it sucks because that means you're going to be on defense. But the alternative is kind of creating a scenario like we saw in the end here that can just lead to a breakaway goal that you're left in the end of the game like, wow, that's a stupid way to end, and it happens every time. But anyway, yeah, so I would just focus on kind of being more wary of your, I guess, teammates' position and what your role is on the field, whether you're attacking or defending. And I think you'll move up pretty easily, actually, because everything else looked good. I mean, your saves were good, your offense was solid. There's nothing I really would pick apart, but the only thing I can say is that part as of right now. And whatever else I included in here, so I kind of forget what I'm saying in these things. Sometimes I feel like going back and watching them, but most of the time I don't. Anyway, yeah, if you're interested, there's other replays on this channel. A bunch of champ players, mostly champ 1. I think I had one more C2, C3, maybe one diamond 3. They all bring a unique play style and kind of pointers about what they need fixed to the table. So there's a lot to learn, but if you have any other questions, man, just let me know. I'm an open book. I'd love to keep helping, so best of luck.